Hi everybody, this is Allie from South Texas Gardening, and this is week 5 of my raised bed garden. And here I have my raised bed, which I've made a couple of changes here. Here in my first, I suppose it's a 2x2 area, 2 square foot by 2 square foot. I have my jalapeno peppers here. I have my Cubanelle peppers here. I have some celebrity tomatoes growing here and some red hybrid cherry tomatoes going there. In the middle I have some basil, and as you see, this basil is being eaten up really bad. I just trimmed it. The top leaves were fine, and then I cut it, and all of these chomped on leaves were hiding beneath. And I'm noticing that I am having a major tent worm problem. So you see here, got some holes there. I've got some holes here. Now I spray neem oil every week. However, the neem oil does not seem to be working. So if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. I have 2 tigress zucchini plants going on here. This zucchini plant has these broad, large leaves. They're beautiful, but they're covering my celebrity tomato here, which I need to get some tomato bases for. But for my zucchini, I had to trim it up quite a bit. So if you see here, I have a bunch of flowers growing. I don't see any female flowers just yet, but I think the zucchini is imminent. Anyways, I went ahead and trimmed it, but there's still plenty of beautiful leaves on there. And over here right next to it, I have some yellow squash plants, which are also growing some nice blooms, some squash flowers. I can't wait to eat those, fry those up. And right below it, I've got a marigold growing there, and a lily melon that's trying so hard to make it. But these zucchini plants, they just grow outrageously fast and wide, and they've been covering the sunlight of my poor lily melon plant. So hopefully with this plant stake, she'll make it. Right here we have some bush beans that I've been growing, and I'm actually seeing a tent worm right there, if you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this sighting, and I am going to pick it up and set it somewhere else. Just put it in the grass over there. Okay, so I've got some bush beans growing here. It seems like they're going to grow some blooms pretty soon. And in this 2x2 square foot area, I've got some onions growing. If you recall, I had some onions growing in week 2 and week 1, but the birds ate them. So I'm trying again, and I also have some okra. This okra plant got eaten up pretty bad by some tent worms. I gotta find some sort of solution to protect my plants. Here we go, I see another tent worm here. They are absolutely everywhere. Just everywhere. I'm gonna fling that onto the grass there. So that's my raised bed. Got some pepper plants, some tomatoes, zucchini, yellow squash, marigolds, lily melons, onions, okra. It's all growing nicely, but I have yet to harvest any vegetables. Hopefully we'll see those soon. Here I have my blackberry bush. This blackberry bush has probably been beaten up by worms more than any other plant. It is just being eaten like crazy. Yesterday I must have taken off about 8 tent worms from this poor plant. I just sprayed it with neem oil. Hopefully that'll make a difference. Over here I have a lot of pots going, a lot of containers. Here we have some cilantro I just planted by seed. It's a little late in the season, but I did have some cilantro growing in this pot, and along with some bush beans, but it wasn't getting enough sunlight. So I've decided to dedicate this entire pot entirely to bush beans, and I've planted some new seeds today. So we'll see how those grow. Bush beans grow fairly quick. In this green container on the right side, I have some rosemary seeds that I planted yesterday. I've got some dill seedlings here. Hopefully the birds don't get to that. I've got some spearmint here that I just trimmed down, so hopefully that'll grow back nicely. I have some marigolds growing here, along with a jalapeno plant and an habanero plant that's growing right there. These look very nice. Again, tent worms are still a problem. Over here, I have beautiful mammoth sunflowers, if I do not say so myself. It is so beautiful to wake up to these flowers. It's just cheerful and brings a lot of joy to my day. And I have plenty more that are waiting to bloom. Give you a close-up of this beautiful flower. I put this flower on Instagram. I had a lot of likes, had a lot of comments on what a beautiful flower that was, and it surely is. I've got some watermelon vines growing down here. One long vine in particular that has yet to show me a flower or a tiny watermelon. It's okay, it's a nice companion. I have my cucumbers growing here on a trellis, and I have many cucumbers growing. Oh, sorry, them got in the way. Got this bulbous type of cucumber here growing, and I've got another cucumber. Ooh, I'm not giving you a good shot. Let me back up here. There we go, cucumber there. If I come around to the back of my cucumber plant, you'll see a lot of cucumbers that are growing. I've got a cucumber there, got a cucumber there. You see I have a couple of cucumbers there, and I don't know what happened to this guy, but we'll eat them anyway. Not a problem. So lots of cucumbers that are growing. I remember being so anxious with this cucumber plant, or plants rather, and I was just hoping and hoping for some female flowers, and all of a sudden they just started appearing, and they're everywhere, and I'm really excited about them. So over here I have my Three Sisters raised bed. It's a 2x2. I've got some bush beans here, and I've got some corn growing in the back 2x2. And right here I have a mound. I don't know if you can see the mound, but I had to grow some new yellow squash because the birds ate my zucchini that was growing there. So I'm growing it again from seed. I'm using the mound method. Hopefully that'll work nicely. Now the problem I'm having with this raised bed is that it's not growing as green and lush like my other raised bed. That one's doing really well. This one is more like a neon green, excuse me, and not the color that I really want. I'm thinking it's lack of sunlight, but this raised bed is pretty much firmly in place, so we'll just have to do with what we can. And I've got this guy to scare off birds now. Hopefully that'll work. So that is what I have so far, guys. I know I added some seaweed and fish fertilizer. That stuff really stinks and it attracts so many flies, but I've seen it do some really good stuff for my garden. So I'll continue to do that once every 3 weeks, maybe even 2. I water regularly, but right now I need some tips on what to do about these tent worms, because they are driving me absolutely nuts. All right, guys, so this is week 5. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for week 6. Have a great week.